Hello, my name is Jack Linari. I'm an intern with the Wild and Scenic Westfield River Committee. Let's go for a walk. I'd like to show you why I like this place. So I applied for this internship. It's been such a learning experience this summer. I really thought that I was an outdoorsy person. I'm from the Boston area. I've learned more about the nature in this summer than I have in my 21 years of living so far. So this trail at Sanderson Brook was created by the Civilian Conservation Corps. And in the 1930s, they decided that this was going to be one of the trails. They did it all by hand, and their goal as a group was to make the forest a more accessible place for recreation while not causing too much of a disturbance to the forest. Let's head on down to the brook. So this summer, I've spent 4 days a week for the past 13 or so weeks right now, out in the woods, whether it be pulling invasives, cutting invasives, or just pretty much looking for invasives. It's been quite the learning experience. I've spent time with great people like Meredith and John Burns, who both blow me away with their knowledge of what's going on in the woods, in the forest, in the rivers. One of the most interesting things that I've learned this summer is macroinvertebrates. I honestly had never even thought about them. I don't think I'd ever learned about them before. I remember one of the days, me and Brian had to go out and collect macroinvertebrates for the kids that we were showing at a camp. Went out there all by ourselves. Weren't having too much luck at first trying to get them. We had a couple here and there, but it wasn't anything that we didn't already have, so we were kind of starting to lose hope until we flip over one rock, the biggest hellgrammite I've ever seen in my life. Probably about that big. It's absolutely incredible. For those of you who have not yet had the pleasure of discovering some macroinvertebrates, they are the nymph and larval stages of insects like dragonflies, Dobson flies, mayflies, a host of other insects. They are a fantastic indicator of water quality as well as a great source of food for things that live in the streams like fish, otters, and other small mammals that may come across them. Under just about each and every single one of these rocks that you will find in a stream or a brook or a river is a community, a complete host of different animals, and that really shows you the dangers of taking these rocks out of the water, stacking them, creating your own little dams. You're disrupting multiple communities. And when we're picking up rocks looking for macroinvertebrates, pick it straight up, turn and look. We've got to make sure not to crush anything that's underneath there. And when we put it back, same thing, slow, right back where you found it. And other living things. So we're gonna get in here. One of the great things I learned over this summer is how to look at the forest as a whole. Before growing up, I would just kind of see it as lots of trees scattered everywhere, some ground cover, a couple bushes here and there. But now I've learned to look at it as a whole organism. But without these trees holding everything in place, there wouldn't be a river here at all. When the trees fall in the river, they also provide housing, habitat, and food for many organisms. Well, here's some detritus. So, decaying leaf litter, sticks, trees, fantastic habitat as well as a food source for the macroinvertebrates. Look carefully, they don't always move right away. Some of them may be very still. Some might scurry off. Here we have some caddisflies. They may look like junk, decaying sticks, leaves, but this is a macroinvertebrate. When we do find macroinvertebrates, we want to leave them exactly where they are. They chose this spot for a reason. They were safe. Fish couldn't eat them under there. And this casing is used as a camouflage. They're pretty defenseless when it comes to their predators, and the best way they can protect themselves is by blending in with their environment. Places where we have high foot traffic, lots of people coming in and out constantly from lots of different places, we'll get stuff like this. You may know it as the burning bush. It is an invasive plant. It's not good around here. It spreads like wildfire and it's quite hard to get rid of once it's got its footing in here. Its proper name is winged euonymus, and it's called winged euonymus. A good way to be able to identify this is these small woody ridges that run down the length of the stems. So you'll never see anything nesting in it. You really won't see much eating it. You don't see anything except itself growing underneath it for the most part. And that's because it changes the soil chemistry underneath it. So there's nothing else that can grow underneath it. It just makes it suitable for itself, and that's what makes it spread a lot faster than something native here, because it just outcompetes. It takes away food, shelter, and I've actually worked quite a bit with this in landscaping. I spent many summers trimming bushes just like these, had no idea that it was invasive up until this summer. So while a lot of the work that I've done this summer has been off the trail, we want to try to make sure to stay on the trail for the most part. There's a reason that the trail's there. It's most likely the easiest way, the most scenic way that you're going to take, as well as you have no risk of disturbing any rare plants, any animals, any habitats. And if you guys are coming to visit the falls, make sure you check out the Newman Marsh Trail. Getting to the top will give you a very nice view from the lookout. That's very, very worth the steep hike. And here we can see that this is a part of the Highlands footpath. While Sanderson Brook is not dedicated wild and scenic, directly across the street is the confluence between Sanderson Brook and the Westfield River, which is wild and scenic.